a CEO also involved in a day-to-day decision making?
It's not that only CEO will help for the growth of the organization. We have empowered our team to take decisions.
What's next 5 years for Trade India is going to look like?
We want to ensure that these 63 million SMEs are digital in next 5 years.
Hey everyone, this is Minejan and welcome back to another episode of Modernizing Biz podcast. On this episode, we have Sandip with us. He's CEO of Trade India. You might all aware about what Trade India is doing. They're doing fabulous job for more than 30 years. Super excited for this conversation. Let's get directly into the mind of Sandip and understand how they have built this big organization from nothing. Right? Hi sir, hope how you doing?
I'm doing good, and thank Manish for inviting me for this podcast.
Right. So first of all, I want to know, like you, from in initial days you've been into Trade India, right? And now you got into a very position which requires a lot of responsibility at a CEO level. So what is the best thing as a CEO you feel so, and the worst, if you can highlight one?
Best thing is that CEO job is so easy. You just have to say yes or no. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
And worst thing I would like to say, people expect a lot from you, and that's what I always quote, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs has said that if you want to keep people happy, okay, then you have to sell ice cream, right? So people expect that, being a CEO, you have your job responsibility to ensure that everybody is the organization is happy. That's the worst thing which I feel. Otherwise, it's a very very easy.
Okay, so you touched the point that either it's you have to say yes or no, right? Do you a CEO also involved in a day-to-day decision making, or like what's your day look like, if you want to highlight?
But ultimately, as a CEO, you should not do micromanagement. Okay, you should build a team, and your team and the company will grow when you have a very good team, and you have to empower your team. That's what we have been doing in the organization. Because it's not that only CEO will help for the growth of the organization, right? It's about the team. And once you have a team in place and the responsibility in place, that's what we call it a CEO as a service in our organization, just because we have empowered our team to take decisions. Okay. And if every decision is lying on you, then it will not move fast. Today in this world, it has to be fast. You have to scale fast. Decision has to be taken fast. No matter you fail. I always tell my team, you fail fast and move on. That's the philosophy which we have in our organization. Okay, and then they should not have that fear to take decisions also, because I always expect people to say that, "Hey, you should fail." Even in while taking interview, I don't take somebody who have not never failed in their life. Okay, because that makes you strong. Yeah, and that's what we have empowered. So you have to have an empowered team, so that your life becomes very very easy, and decision becomes making also, it becomes very easy once you do that. So ultimately it comes to your team. That's what it helps to scale your team, their business as well.
Okay, want to go back to 2025 years from now. So when you joined the organization, so since you now become a fully tech-based platform providing services 100% with the tech, so what happened in those times? Like, what's journey look like from year 1990 to this particular date?
So I'll share you the whole experience. Okay, so we come from a print version, and so it's the offline version. Okay, we were the one. Very few people knows that, but we were the one who published, exporter yellow pages. Okay, so at that time there were Tata yellow pages, but we published exporter yellow pages because that was a big challenge. That foreign importers, they didn't really know where to import products from. If they want to buy leather goods, they didn't know where is the manufacturer sitting. Okay, or they want to buy handicrafts, brass handicrafts, they didn't know in India where to buy from. So we came with this exporter yellow pages first. Okay, and from there then we started international pages, international pages where India also wanted to buy from Singapore, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, and Middle East, such products from there. They also didn't know how to where from they can buy, right? So that's why we came with this exporter yellow pages and international pages. Okay, but after some time we realized that, after people started using laptops, the things started changing, right? Then we thought of how people will carry this such a huge, big, book, print book, and they will see and they'll, it's a huge book, right? And then we moved from this print version to a CD version, right? So to see the user, well, how the change it. So we started changing as per the user behavior. I would like to. I just just wanted to explain you. Yeah. Then this dot com started. People started using internet. That was the time of Yahoo, Rediff, Hotmail, and all. People started using emails. People started checking websites in yeah around 2006. Okay, but and then we moved this exporter yellow pages from offline to online, but this was typically just that pages used to scan that page, and we created an html, and they used to see the same page online. That's it. Yeah. And slowly and gradually we thought that how we can connect, bridge this gap between foreign importers and Indian exporters primarily. We started with that, and then said that they started using email. So US, Europe, all these people, they started using email, but our Indian manufacturers, SMEs, were not aware of it. Okay, so what we did, we started giving them Trade India email ID. Okay, and we trained them how to check emails. Okay, and all the emails which used to come to us, even they were not able to check that email. What we used to do is we used to take the printout of that inquiry which they used to receive, and we used to fax them, and we used to call them that fax bheja hai, why didn't you reply, and then we used to reply in behalf of this manufacturers to those buyers sitting in US, Europe. So that was the journey, how we started, and slowly and gradually we started building sales team. When I started, it was almost 8 to 10 people team. We started building small teams in all these industrial regions, hubs. Okay, and started educating SMEs to go digital. But it was uh, very very difficult job at that time. Nobody used to be like, "अच्छा, online भी business हो सकता है."
Down to next point, what's the trust building process, especially when we talk about, let's say you onboard a lot of MSMEs, right? So selling a 500 t-shirt was still difficult, even in year 2012. So that's where digital transformation happened. So what are the difficulties you faced in onboarding MSMEs to the portal or something?
So first, that first they never used to believe that digital will work. That was a big challenge which was there. Okay, and what we did that we started doing lot of knowledge making sessions with them, that how this can help them, how we can connect, they can change their aspiration, they can go borderless, cross border transaction can happen, cross border inquiries they can receive. Okay, and started building technology and providing them, that say this is how you can do it. Okay, created a catalog, online catalog, and it's a very basic online catalog with the images and all. And they said, see, when you are talking to your international buyers, you don't have to travel. Just share this link, and they will be able to see your product, and they will give you orders. And once this started happening, they started believing that okay, hey, this is really works. Okay, but it was not an easy job. It was a difficult job, but during that time also what helped us, I will tell you what helped us was there were second generation of the manufacturers in within that organization started coming, the people who started to coming doing MBA and started running their business. They realized that okay, this might work. That also, that was a turning point, and people started using you. I don't know, you remember not, it was like Yahoo chat.
I remember. Then Reddit also happened, I think so. That is what everything the eruption started.
That those adoptions, once they started happening, made our life easy also. Okay, and that's how we started our platform TradeIndia.com, where we started giving them how build yourself kind of catalog. Okay, and started doing this matchmaking online. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, you from India to in initial years you expanded to foreign market, right? When you was on yellow papers. Yeah. So what did the expansion journey look like? I think it would be much more easier when it comes to digital platforms. But what are the one thing that you identify difference working with Indian MSMEs and foreign MSMEs? Like what's the difference you see working with those two type of businesses?
Okay. It's a very I mean, when I talk about Indian SMEs, we call it do for me. Yeah, they will say that okay, I'll pay you the amount. Okay, and you have to do everything for myself. You have to click the photographs, write the content, create my website, write the description about my product, you send email in my behalf, talk to the buyer, do for me everything. Whereas when it comes to foreign manufacturers, SMEs, they feel that not do for me, it is do it for yourself. Okay, yeah. What they do is they will make sure that they will write their own content, they will write their own information. Why? Because they know their product well. That is what they believe. They want to present their product in a very very presentable way, because they know that online reputation is very very important. Yeah, they will give you the best of the photograph, best of the products, best information, so that the closure happens faster. Okay, and they are very very particular about their product information online. Okay, and even not only about product information, you talk about other part of the business. Okay, when it comes to email ethics, or when it comes to payment, when it comes to uh, connecting with buyers and sellers, they are very very particular about it. Whereas in terms of Indian SMEs, they have a little bit layback attitude. When I say layback, if they get a requirement, they might not reply it immediately. So I'll reply it tomorrow.
Think so this one factor will make a difference when it comes to growth as a whole industry, and which will contribute to economy. So as a country, we also feel like a lot of people think so, like we have to move to bigger cities or different countries or something to do something good, right? A lot of youth are moving, and that's what is happening. So do you think so this one attitude is what keeping us behind from the international markets?
Not so now. Okay, things has really changed. Okay, because um, because of a technology and internet becoming the next religion in India or globally, right? We are connected with each other through internet today. Yeah, so today things have really changed, and people are innovating, and people from smaller cities are innovating more. Even I'll give you some some numbers of Trade India as well. 40% of the growth of SMBs has happened from smaller cities, and the adoption has increased from smaller cities. Why? Because they know that if you have internet and you have a manufacturer sitting at a smaller cities, you can have a global aspiration. You can, and because also because of the technology which has changed in supply chain, and these things has really contributed towards the growth of smaller manufacturers in smaller cities. Okay, they don't have to be in bigger cities anymore. And if you see all the unicorns or all the companies who are growing are from smaller cities, not in big cities, right? Today. Yeah.
So, going down to deep and understand about how Indian MSMEs work. So, what do you think? So, like, how much an MSME contribute if you can highlight in numbers, if you have something in Indian economy, and like from previous background to this, like, what's the growth happened there?
So, if you talk about Indian economy itself, 33% of the GDP contribution happens from MSMEs. Okay, and which is doing around 100 million kind of manpower contribution which is there.
So, our MSMEs aware about that. This is what our contribution is.
Not all, but uh, we that's what we always educate people on this, right? And I've not written a lot of content on this, that how SMEs are contributing to our GDP. But uh, what is going to increase further is because of the lot of government initiatives which is taking towards MSMEs, like Atmanirbhar, Made in India. Okay, this will contribute a lot. Okay, and then when we are talking about this 5 trillion economy, right? If you talk of 5 trillion economy itself, 1 trillion contribution will come from exports, Indian exports, and this Indian exports in last 2 years has grown by 40%. It was 412 billion, and it has grown 40% on that. See the growth. And why this is growing? Exports is not happening only from bigger cities, from all the cities in India. So if I talk about Badoi example, I give example of Badoi, there are you will find carpet exporters there. In Muradabad, you will find brass handicraft exporters there. Go to Ludhiana, hosiery goods, cycle parts, tractor parts, those exporters there, right? Yeah. So this is what the new India is all about, and I think in MSME are the backbone of Indian economy, and they will be there. And of course, then only one thing which government should look at today is how they can make ease of doing business for MSMEs better. That's it.
If you want to highlight that one part, like where they are lacking, उनको कहाँ डिफिकल्टी आ रही है, एंड देन यू फील सो कि दिस थिंग नीड टू इम्प्रूव, लाइक व्हाट इज वन थिंग इफ यू वांट
If I say, when I say ease of doing business is in the taxation side, registering a company, then lot of benefit subsidies they get. It takes a lot of time to reach to those people. Credit facility, for example. Okay, today if they want to avail the credit facility, is it that credit facility reaching there on time? So there are a lot of difficulties which is there, and we did some survey also on that to understand, are they aware of those things? And we were surprised to see that, almost maybe, more than 50% SMEs were not aware of so many, government initiatives which, government is taking.
Okay. Yeah, amazing. So, if you want to highlight one thing, that there's like two things that one can do. Next 5 years going to be much more towards digitalization. There is still a portion of businesses which is not expanded on digital platform, but once they will, so they'll get, there's this different whole business which is developing even for the MSMEs, right? So that's why you're playing Trade India, like portals like Trade India playing a very big role. So what do you think? So one need to have their independent presence or a marketplace present, something like that, for a necessary for upcoming 5 years if they want to be future ready. Which one is the ideal, or a mix of both will do the justice?
You asked about trust, right? Yeah. So that's what, SME also, they asked me that, okay, we create a website, but how people will trust us? That's a big question, Okay. So I simply say that, okay, you get listed with some of the marketplaces. Once you are listed with a marketplace, they start trusting you. Whether it's marketplace like TradeIndia, you there because people trust TradeIndia as a brand, and they will ensure that they are listing companies who are, verified, reliable companies. So automatically that trust is there, right? So you should start from there. But having said that, you should also look at how you build your brand that way, because today digital is the first line of business. It will, you will have a offline, you will have a office in place, but that will not be a first line of business anymore, because people, the buyer will now come online, and buyer will start from this mobile, that small device called mobile. The journey starts from there, and if you are not present there, then you are losing business. Your competition will start, and if they are online and they are digitally, presence is higher, then they will be, gaining that advantage which is there. Okay, so my suggestion would be to start with marketplace first. Yeah.
Okay, and then you can go on and build something independent or on the go. Amazing. So one advice, one thing that you love working with MSMEs and one thing you hate working with MSMEs. Pretty, I think so. That you might. This is a very contradictory question, but if you want to highlight one good thing and one bad thing, and that's where.
So I'll start. I know one thing which I love working with MSMEs is the kind of innovations they are doing today. Extremely good innovations, across different categories, and when you start meeting them, understanding that, and you will be surprised to know that how uh, they are providing, some support to the bigger brands also. So very good, innovations happening there. Okay, one what I hate about MSME is, uh, some are not aspirational. They feel that, okay, I'm happy with this hand and mouth revenue which I'm getting. Okay, so think big is what I see, that, that they should look at this, in this world of innovations and technology, and the kind of, ease in terms of doing business online is there. So that adoption should be much faster. Yeah.
Okay, one almost towards going the end. There are like couple of things that I want to highlight. What's next 5 years for Trade India is going to look like? What's the plan? You expanded globally. You onboarded a lot of market. Is do you feel it is saturated, or what's the new thing that you're coming up for next 5 years?
Uh, for us, we are in a mission. Okay, we are in a mission, which the mission of our Prime Minister Modi is also the same, like, digital India, right? We are part. We want to be part of that mission. Okay, when we say that in India there are 63 million SMEs, okay, we want to ensure that these 63 million SMEs are digital in next 5 years. Okay, and we'll make them, these SMEs, digitally saksham. Okay, that's what our mission is, in next 5 years. And for Trade India personally, one is that, and second is, we would like to be part of, the global SME ecosystem. Not only India but the global, SME ecosystem.
All right. Now, one thing I want to highlight, like, what's your day majorly in Trade India look like? From the outside, feels so that it's more sales driven. The organization is so whenever whatever what happens, like whenever it's the sale, that's what toxicity comes into the picture. People start feeling that work is more pressured. I had my revenue and my closures to be here. I like everything is on CRM. They can see everything. My manager is tracking. So these are the things which is happening in a middle scale or a lower level hierarchy. If you look at it in the organization, so what do you think? So where as an organization, as a sales, where you find, so how you tackled with this particular problem and created a win-win situation for team and the upper hierarchy.
I'll give a no, very good example here. So we make sales fun. Okay, how we make sales fun is last month. I mean, we have started this called Trade India Football League. And Trade India Football League is nothing. It's a sales league. We have created, the whole in India into four teams, and everybody is working as every sale is one goal. One goal, okay. And just imagine the fun they are working, and we have we have a golden boot. So highest sale who will get a golden boot, right? So we are making, we are relating the event which is happening today with sales, and sales is so excited. The whole branches are being, we have those flags. We have said that this is Ronaldo team, this is Messi's team, okay, Neymar's team, Mepe team, and they are fighting with each other, and they are every we have a we have uh, a group in place, and they are just fighting. We have one goal, two goal, 50 goals, 30 goals, and each goals is one sale, and that makes fun, and that moves away that pressure which you are talking, sales pressure which is there. So we try to innovate there, so that uh, they don't feel that pressure, okay, because there is a different little bit of gap between pressure and distress, okay, that we try to fill that gap. And then we have a very good engagement program in place. Just You can subscribe our LinkedIn, then you will be knowing that what kind of engagement we do. We have a lot of engagement. We do every morning engagement. We have a lot of connect programs, with our employees, and so on and so forth. And we will not only talk about sales, we talk some personal, whatever what is happening in your life. Yeah, so these things helps you to connect with people, and then ease that pressure, yeah.
Okay, so one thing I want to know that if you look at the youth, right, they have a negative perspective towards sales, right? A lot of people don't want to do door-to-door sales. You probably go on being on a top level position, and you go on field and talk to your buyers and sellers, and you engage with the real customers, right? And that's where we was talking that a real business was built. But if you look at today's scenario, people developed young people have developed this mindset that sales is what we can't do, राइट. इट्स लाइक सोसाइटी क्या बोलेगी, ऐसा क्या होगा, डोर टू डोर कैसे सेल करे, आई हाउ कैन आई डू अ कोल्ड कॉल. That is what I would say a best thing you can learn, but still that is what not no one is teaching around. There is no course around it. What's your thought on this? Is there anything need to be improved on this section, or what's the other way out?
So sales, somebody has to be very passionate about coming, choosing this career, to be very frank, okay. And I keep on telling people that next 10 years down the line, there are a lot of carriers which will be, gone, so I'll give example. Again example, we will not have driver anymore because it will be a driverless car, right? uh, AI will take care of lot of work which is done by HR. Okay, so HR will be maybe reluctant, not that relevant anymore. Maybe 10 years down the line. That's but sales is something which will always be there. Okay, but sales previously was an art. When I say art, like calling the customers, just trying to pursue maybe so that you take my product. But now sales has become a science. When I say science, it has become more data driven. When you go with the data insights and meet your customer and talk about how you give that ROI because of the investment which you are doing, this becomes easy. Okay. And that is where we say that we are a sales driven technology enabled company. Why? We give this sales with a data driven insights. Okay. Once you do that, then this sale becomes very, very easy if you are doing a cold call also.
Yeah, you have a basic data about
You
the.
have the information ready about that particular customer, insights about that industry, how you will help them to grow the business, and so forth. Okay, but that is where people have to understand. People still feel that sales is all about art. कि मैं कुछ भी बोल दूंगा, I'll speak, I'll try to convince, and ultimately the other person, sales is all about what? The other person will say no. You have to convince that person to say yes. And how you do that now? And because the customer also are aware today, because there are so many people going there, meeting them and educating them. They might be knowing more than what you are talking about. Okay, but if you do that with a data driven approach, that this should not be a problem.
Okay, so if I want to sum up on that part, is like you need to back sales effort with a lot of data plus a marketing effort and all. Like it's a kind of a value ecosystem that you have to create, and that's where you can close out. Thanks a lot, sir, on being on Modernizing Biz podcast. Hope a lot of audience will get tons of value out of it, and super excited to get more deep into the conversation and record some more episodes with you. Hope you had a great. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.